and we are back for another one here on this Christmas 2024. And a Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Much love. Go ahead and get the mic check out the way and see what the audio's like right out the gate. Thank you, Lonnie. Shout out to all the mods out there. See Pixie in the house. Thank you, Deanne. Yellow Dog. Christ is King. Only person complaining is Jason. Thank you, Jim. So, a lot of people give me the 5x5. So I'm just going to go with that. And I want to thank everyone that joins for the streams. And I hope you guys have had a good Christmas. Much love to all out there. Yeah, and if you're having any audio issues, usually a good refresh would do the job. On my end, if it ever cuts out, it's usually just the OBS, and it does it real quick. You can hear it. Most of you guys that are always here are used to it. Thank you, Randy. Cheers. Much love. Yes, Merry Christmas. Or at home, and there is the OBS at the beginning of the stream. I'm going to get this started here talking about some Christmas action that we just missed. It was a big space rock, 120-foot space rock, going by yesterday. And I didn't see any reports of any fireballs or anything like that. So it looks like this 2024 XN1 went by with no problems. The thing about this is it was decent in size, comparable to a 10-story building, but it was just discovered like this month, like a week or so ago. And normally to get a good trajectory on an object, they need what they call multiple observations, where they can start to chart it and then get a good path on it. So sometimes the scary ones are the ones that pop up last minute, so to speak. But yeah, that went by with no problems. And I wanted to share this video here of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen all throughout the White House. I've never seen it to this extent. And I'm not sure you're ever going to see it in this much detail. This is a small drone flying through the White House. It starts off outside, but it goes through nearly every single room in the place. And it does it all within here 2 minutes. I thought it was a cool video showing the inside of the White House for those that may not know what it all looks like. But I'm going to play this here real quick.
How silently the wondrous gift is given. There's a certain stillness at the center of Christmas story. A silent night when all the world goes quiet.
I can't just listen to him. I can't do it. So I'm not sure how many rooms are in the White House, but I mean, it's like a mansion. It's got plenty of rooms. You can see here the drone just drifting in and out of several different ones. They just got them decorated up. And apparently it looks like people can walk into them because they've got ropes up. Kind of where they're showing it off, I guess. But being able to fly one of these drones like this helps you see things in greater detail, rather than just some images or this and that. And it does it rather quickly too. These drones, man, They had to trust this guy that flew this too, because one mess up, he's hitting a chandelier, he's smacking a wall, he's taking out a picture of Washington, you know, knocking something off the table. You got to have some real skill to do this here. And normally they do this where they've got goggles on, sitting somewhere, and they'll take a look at all these places. They'll run a layout, and they'll fly it. Wow, what the? You just never know what they're going to have in one of these rooms. Yeah, flying right through it, man. So yeah, it's what the White House looks like this time of year, apparently. If you've ever wondered, I've seen pictures in the past where they talk about the Christmas tree in the White House. But man, these days, there's got to be dozens of Christmas trees in the White House that we just witnessed. Pretty crazy. Now, if you're someone waiting on a package and you never received it out there and you ordered it through Amazon, you might be one of the people affected here in this situation where an Amazon driver got really stressed out in Massachusetts and dumped 80 packages, apparently in the woods, off the side of a road. This was late Saturday night in Lakeville. It's about an hour outside of Boston. Lakeville police explaining that one of the sergeants was on routine patrol when he looked over and just seen 3 large totes filled with packages, unattended. And they tracked down the Amazon driver, basically said that he was stressed out, and dumped them. But it looks like they were returned back where they got them out, where people are going to get their package. But if yours is delayed and was coming through Amazon, they're saying here that this is the situation. And you've got to remember that Amazon warehouse workers in New York City, Atlanta, Southern California, San Francisco, Illinois, they've all been on strike since Thursday. So who knows what's going on behind the scenes there, pay-wise, work-wise, overworking people. Apparently, the person was just honest and said they were stressed out and couldn't take it anymore and just dipped, quit, dumped them. Which they should have just took them back to the place, back to the center. That would have been the best bet, instead of dumping them outside somewhere. But they probably didn't want to deal with anyone or anything like that. Luckily, the cops found the packages and they're on their way. So a bit of a delay, but hey, better late than never, right? So 80 packages, I swear. If any of you guys out there end up being one of those people, out of that, let me know. I'll update. FedEx driver did the same. Yeah, well, I'm sure this time of year with the stress stacked up on maybe someone that can't handle it, new to the job. I don't know. Who knows? It could be a million different reasons. My tamale says low IQ. Yeah, well. Yeah, Starbucks still on strike as well. Here's a good story, though. It's good to see people try out there. This is the stuff that I wish that I could do more of. I mean, if I had it, like that, these are the little things that I would do for sure. Thousands of people were displaced from the hurricane, and you guys know it, from Helene. People that are in tents still, staying in campers, all this stuff. We have this charity that came together. Beloved Asheville delivered over 3,000 Christmas presents overnight to children in Asheville. private charity. They stepped in to help all these people. So 3,000 presents getting delivered to all these different, to their homes, to their motel rooms, the RVs, tents, wherever they're at. I would like to think that well, I pray that there's not people out there in tents right now. Pray to the Most High in heaven that there's not a single person in a tent tonight after all this. But, it's just good to see people doing good things. If you ask me, that's how you make it out of this place. Is fighting the good fight, doing good deeds, just all the way around, all the time. Walking it out righteously. To the best of your ability. We're all thrown into the fire, trials and tribulations, and tested by the evil spirits, the jinn, on the daily. But those that can overcome and help others, it's one of the greatest things you can do. So that was good to see. I got a couple different stories here connected into this. This is pretty crazy. This one is called, they're saying that the most significant item from the time of Christ, the bone box of Jesus' brother, is making its way to the U.S. Now, if you don't know, there is this stone box that's believed to have had once held the bones of James, and it's now on display in Atlanta, Georgia. So I guess it's already here. There's been a fight for some time over its authenticity, and they won one court battle. But they're saying that this is the only archaeological find directly attributed to Jesus' family. The box is considered the most significant item ever discovered from the time that Christ lived. They say etched in a 2,000-year-old limestone relic are the words, James, son of Joseph, brother of Jesus. And it's written in ancient Aramaic. So if you don't know, Yeshua, Jesus, had 4 brothers, James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas. And that's all according to Matthew 13:55-56. James was believed to be the older of the siblings. Jesus also had sisters, but the Bible doesn't say how many or what their names were specifically. The ossuary here of James is one of 350 artifacts that are displayed on this exhibit about Jesus. Now, at first, they tried to say that this man, Oded Golan, who bought this container, they tried to say that he faked it. That he wrote or he added in the words, brother of Jesus. But then after a long battle, after a 10-year trial, this guy was acquitted and cleared of any charges of trying to commit a forgery. They went hard on it. And then they dropped it. And they said, no, it was a real deal. They couldn't prove that he faked it. So it's on display, and where the bones went that were in there of James is anybody's guess. They don't say that. There's no mention of that. They just say that this was discovered in Israel in 1976 and then was sold at some point by this guy. Got his hands on it. But, I mean, if you find something old and ancient like this guy's got it, but gave it up, it's on display somewhere. Yeah, you need to know if it's authentic for sure. There needs to be testing done on it, and by multiple groups, not just one authority that can say whatever. Get multiple opinions, and then if it all checks out, then it checks out. But this apparently checked out after 10 years of them trying to say it wasn't. So interesting. It's on exhibit down there in Atlanta. If you guys are passing through there and you guys want to see this. And you got to know what the most desired thing for Christmas is, right? Any guesses? If the picture didn't already give it away. Any guesses? Cash. Yeah. It's cash. Most people just want the cash. So they can buy, what they need, what they want. But I will say that, an all cash Christmas just doesn't feel like Christmas. The Christmasable, traditional Christmas, presents under the tree, and everyone opening them, the stockings and this and that. When it's just cash, it's just none of that exists. And that was part of the family bonding experience. So that's what it takes away from in that instance. But it is convenient, obviously, for anyone out there. And most kids these days, cash is king. Whether it's birthday or Christmas, whatever, just like, give me the cash. Or, or a card. A card or some kind of currency so they can just get whatever they want. So when you look at this, though, the most desired gifts in the USA for men and women, cash is at the top, followed by clothing, textiles, and shoes, then vouchers or gift cards. But then, for women, cosmetics, perfume, body care, and all that ranks where men go after food and drinks on the list. But, money at the top, no surprise. And there's a lot of people out there this time of year going into even further debt because of Christmas. Just wanted to point out on this chart what it looks like for most people. The lowest debt in the country per state is Wisconsin. You've got Iowa, Kentucky, they're close. Opposite end of the scale. You've got Nevada over here. And you've got a lot that are tied there. VA, Georgia, Hawaii. Top. Alaska. Taking it all, though, with 7.3, more debt than anyone. And right behind it, D.C. Everybody facing debt, that's for sure. All right, jumping into some kind of horrific news here of an incident that took place in NYC's Herald Square. Multiple people injured. They could have been killed. This incident occurred right around 420 in an intersection of 6th Street and Western 34th Street. NYPD saying and confirming that multiple injuries after a vehicle just drove through all the people. It's still unclear whether or not they intentionally struck the people or if it was an accident. So, this Herald Square is home to Macy's flagship department store. A lot of people flock there. It's pretty packed right around Christmas. And I mean, come on. NYC, this place is, I've been up there around Christmas time. Matter of fact, one of the few times, the very first time I ever went there years and years ago, one of my buddies went on a trip up there. Play some video game, playing some competition. They put us up in the hotel and got to experience it. But man, it was cold. It was cold. I just remember it was cold. And bunch of people all over the place. Yep. And I thought that this story kind of mirrored that one. We have another incident here where a 31-year-old man is arrested, and that they're charging this guy for attempted murder because he drove up on a sidewalk in London in the Soho district and just drove through the people. 4 people injured in this, but drove right on up in there, mowed them down. They say that he was reportedly in a fight at a nightclub before committing the crime. They're not saying that it was terror related or anything like that. So, Pope Francis opens up the sacred portal at the Vatican for Jubilee year 2025. Man, if there was a place, you know how we just saw inside the White House with that drone flying around, getting all the chambers, if you could go inside the Vatican with one of them and get into every nook and cranny inside the catacombs and everything else, boy, it'd be wild. Hey man, Mark, thank you for that super chat. And Merry Christmas. Much love. God bless. But I'm going to tell you right now, these places that have these doors, these ancient places, man, I don't feel that they were built for man. They're ancient, they're super old, and they fit the description of being a door that a giant would walk through. The name they give, I mean, look at this thing. It's huge. I'm going to play this clip so you can see. I don't know. It's not like this door wasn't open before. It's just all for theater, all for show. Because they had to go inside, get everything ready, and all this other stuff. I mean, it's not like it was sealed off, for forever or whatever. But it's symbolic. And again, this door. The whole thing, in many of these big places that are like this, they have these huge doorways. All the inside, all the walkways are the same. They're all built massive. So here we go. Yeah, so it's just all for show. But they had to show everybody.
In Mexico earlier this month.
They had to show him opening up a portal. He had to hit it, and then it opened. Like open sesame. And thank you, Galen. Merry Christmas. Much love. Appreciate that to the fullest. I don't know. I just see these things, and that's what comes to me when I see these huge doors. And it's the same throughout Egypt with the pyramids. A lot of those statues are like 15-footers, even bigger, and that would be the right size to fit through a lot of the doorways and the walkways that they got going through there. Not to mention all throughout Egypt and all those depictions. There's like regular sized people next to them. You can see who the giants are and who the little people are. Little people being us. And anyhow, this is to signify this year of Jubilee. Okay? So traditionally, a Jubilee year is a year of forgiveness, reconciliation, and spiritual renewal. But, as a lot of the prophecies and things are stating, it could very well be a year of huge war, which I speculated it probably will be, unless somebody comes on the scene as a man of peace, false man of peace, which is very likely. We have a lot of unique things happening, with Donald Trump coming onto the scene as being the president of the United States. If you don't know, the rabbi that we played here live about a month ago, I played it a couple times, I think. He says what is to come. And he says that in their Jewish faith, that Trump is the Gentile Messiah. Trump is the Gentile Messiah to them. That is crazy. And you wonder why they named a town after him. Why he's on the same coin as King Solomon, the master wizard for them, so to speak. And all the secrets of Solomon that we've talked about, that ties right into all this, into the giants, into the Nephilim, into all of it. We now know, full circle, where the evil spirits in the spirit realm come from. And it's because of all the writings and teachings that talk about all this. It all ties in together. See, the Pope knows this. He knows all these key things that the masses never get or get to hear. Anyhow, 2025 looking to be a very interesting year. Elon Musk, Mr. Neuralink, the world's richest man. Wonder if he went out and helped any businesses and saved them. Like, I've seen Dave Portnoy, you may not like him, but he went out and he saved a pizza joint. I see some other guys doing the same thing. Guys had some money. They went out and they helped these businesses that were going down, that were behind on bills or this and that, or needed things fixed, and went in and helped them and do a lifeline out and saved them. Merry Christmas. It's a big help. At some point, we're going to have humans just erased. We're not going to be needed. Can't you see where this is going rather quickly? I fear for the youth more than anything because of where this leads. The jobs numbers that just came in, just decimated. Absolutely decimated. Not to count in that they lied about it. And then when the revised numbers came in, it showed just how bad the damage was. Most of the jobs that did come through were going to illegals, to migrants, that filled all these jobs in these positions. But they lied, they fluffed it up. And when the real data came through, as we just seen here this past week, they're liars, man. They completely bold-faced lied about all of it. It should be a major headline, but you got so much going on. It's just off to the next thing. But Elon, all up in the political realm, if you haven't noticed, people have even been complaining, saying he's going to be the president. He's basically bought Trump and all this, and Trump had to check that and say, I don't think so. It's not happening. But Elon, no doubt, just an interesting character. And he makes this prediction that, unlike some of these other dates that these other guys have given, he feels we're going to hit this point of singularity by 2030. Now, singularity is the point in time when humans can create an artificial intelligence machine that is smarter, per se, that they outsmart us. That's the scary moment, basically. And Ray Kurzweil, Google's chief of engineering, says that singularity is going to happen in 2045. That's his bet. Luis Rosenberg claims that we are actually closer to that, and that the day will be arriving sometime, just like Elon says, by 2030. Patrick Winston says 2040. So they're pointing at 2030 here as being, I mean, we know it's going to be key. 2030 has been telegraphed and put into our minds left and right for so long. Also, the Great Reset. It has not happened yet. It has to happen by 2030. They've got a 5-year window now to do this. This is the main goal. I'm going to tell you that flat out. You shouldn't take your eye off the ball. Okay? This economy is getting handed off to Trump as a dud. He knows it. They're going to take a huge chunk out of it themselves. There's going to be a huge pullback and a drawback, a dump. It's what they call the Trump dump. And how can you avoid this from happening? I don't know. It's so suspended and propped up and rigged as it is. I mean, everything from precious metals to the whole freaking market. Trump aware of this, but like, as he said, it's almost unfair that I'm inheriting this situation because it's going to get blamed on us. They're already saying this. So, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you need to make this clear to like all your followers, all your people out there that like this is what's about to happen. Not to mention on day one, we're going into a national emergency. How is the next 4 years going to shape up? Is the next 4 years going to be a national emergency? Dude, it's going to take longer than that to get these millions and millions and millions and millions of illegals out of this country. It's going to take a lot more than 4 years. I'm telling you, this place is about to get transformed into like a prison. Like some kind of weird Gestapo. It reminds me of Jade Helm. They needed the reason to be able to roll this out. Yeah, they did that. They brought it here. They brought it here and the reason's here. And on the valid tip, they got to go. So, man, I told you this. Get ready. A whole bunch of you are going to get visits. You're going to have friends and family that are going to be telling you stories of the feds showing up at their work, wherever, at their apartment complex, like wanting to ID everyone. A lot of people are going to have a problem with that because this isn't Nazi Germany. It's not like, you know, let's see your papers. But this is how they're doing it. This is how they're going about it. He even came out and admitted and said it on camera that there are about to be a whole lot of what they call collateral arrests. People that they're not looking for that get arrested in the mix or you know, just might have had a bench warrant, you know, you didn't even know it or something for something stupid. Like, this isn't good. Like, what other little list are they going to have? Oh, you're on the 5th blacklist. You're coming with us. Like, what? Like, who's to say? Who's going to say a word to them when these strike teams are rolling in, guns drawn, and it's the feds? They're about to do this everywhere. Mind you, they're also about to get the military involved and get it involved on the border. They're going after the cartels. Just wait till I get to that. This place is about to become a war zone. It's about to become a war zone. Millions of Trumpers just oblivious to it. Or maybe they know, but they're sticking their head in the sand. I don't know, and I don't get it. You need to face the fire, no matter what the situation is. Mr. Warp Speed Trump, say, I don't forget. You don't think that something huge isn't about to happen on his watch? Well, it is. Day one. Day one it begins. He's going to be signing off EOs left and right. Just left and right, just all night long. All night. Yeah, he's going to be in there just ripping them off. Left and right. And he done said national emergency at the gate. That should concern everyone. That a dude just rolling in and launching a national emergency. Like, it's just, it doesn't sit well with me. These are all the things we've warned about ever since, like, the days of Obama. for a long time, man. Okay? But this place is set up for it now. It's set up for it. All. Granted, thank you for the coffees. Merry Christmas. God bless my brother. And Uncommon says, be ready to ditch your smart TVs and cell phones. Resist. Yeah, I mean, we got to do something, man. Something. That's why I'm all about trying to have meetups in the flesh. I don't know if I can have a conference of it. I don't know. In this year, 2025, I usually have them every other year. Everyone's been asking me, and they want a conference. So people say, I'm like, well, dang. But it wouldn't be till sometime in the summer, for sure. I don't have the means to do it, man. Like, just being honest. So I don't know, take some planning and all that, and like the windows of opportunity got to open. Of course, everyone's got to want it, but I've been seeing a lot of people asking about wanting to meet up, and it's always awesome. I will say that every conference that we've had is checked out to be awesome because of the people that show up. You meet so many good people. I mean, just so many people I get to meet in the flesh, and some that are no longer here that I would have never got to meet in this life, and if it wasn't for that. R.I.P. to all my cats that have passed on. They're on the other side tonight. Thank you, Quantum. Much love. Merry Christmas to you. Respect. Much love to all the pure bloods out there. Prayers for everyone. That is for sure. I feel like we're about to enter. We think it's been bad thus far. Maybe the craziest window yet. The craziest, because of what's going to happen. Not that Trump's the bad person, and this and that, and try to blame it on him, because I see where they're going with all this. But this was meant to be. I know this. I don't know if you guys have looked into any of the things I've told you in the past of which show that this country is meant to come down. There's literal books written about it, like Manly P. Hall's. He's a master mason. Just gave the whole blueprint away. Just put it out there. And he did so because it's part of the rules to the game. When you're dealing with the cult magic, there's rules to the game. And one of those rules is you have to, your victims, so to speak, or the people you have to let them know what you're doing, so to speak. It's the way they try to hide it and ticker tape it in movies so it gets into your subliminal, even if it's a millisecond or this and that. It doesn't matter. Any way that they can to get it, even sarcastically or in a joke, it doesn't matter. Or act like it's a joke or put it in a comedy skit. It doesn't matter. As long as they got the message out, they got it out. Okay? That is part of the rules of the game here. And we're going to be diving deeper into this from here on out. All this. It's just that time. And it's just where it's at. Like, I clearly see the enemy, and I see what needs to be done. Like the demon and the jinn. And it needs to be countered. And you could never overcome them physically, obviously, because they're in the spiritual realm. And this is a battle for every person. I can't win your battle for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight the fight. You got to walk it out. You got to get yourself out of here. You see what I'm saying? You gotta walk it. I see too many people just sitting around. Last I checked, we were asked to do certain things. There's so many people just waiting for someone to come rescue them. But you were asked while you were here to live a certain way, to do certain things. And I personally feel like if I don't, then like, who's to say like, screw me? Like you didn't listen to me. Like I put myself in a higher position and look down on myself and think, would I even save myself if I didn't do what was asked of me? And I'd say no. And that's scary. So yeah, so Most High lays some things out. A lot of people just ignore it for whatever reasons, man. There's something. The Godhead is watching, as is how I see it. Right now, all the time, he's like watching in real time. Like they are watching, the whole team, everyone is watching. The whole team, as I call it, back home. I love you guys. They're watching. So every little thing I say, everything you do, it's like it's being observed. And I'm very conscious of that. It gets stronger and stronger. And the more you walk it out righteous, the stronger this becomes. I'm going to tell you. Call it a gift, call it whatever. Just another sense. You gain it by living righteously. And the crazy thing is you can't cheat it. You can't cheat the game. You can't cheat the game. That's how this is divinely made. Evil can't do it. You have to literally walk righteous and good to achieve this. It's what the Bible calls your oil of gladness. Your chrism. And I told you over and over, it's hidden in so many passages over and over. Why? Why would that be? Someone's trying to tell you over and over the way out. I've come to discover and find that there are things hidden within things. And a lot of the stories that you read in your Bible, and some of you should know this, they are allegories. Okay? Meaning they're referencing something else. There's a story within a story. There's something hidden. Okay? And if you know anything about esoteric code that goes back and what things mean, for instance, like when you read a passage and it tells you that the individual went into his chamber, or he went into his upper abode, or they speak of something like that, that means they're going within. Okay? When you, like the story of him wrestling the lion, Samson, this is wrestling the ego. That's what that represents. Okay? And it's the personal journey in overcoming that. And when you can overcome all these things and master all these temptations, when you can override it all, that's the key. That's what is being tested here, to see who can do this. And a bunch of people are failing miserably. It's huge disappointment. That's why most of this place is going to get roasted by fire. It's all written, and I believe it. He comes back with the sword, King of Kings, and he comes back with the sword. I mean, for all my people out there that are screaming kumbaya, you got to realize, man, the Messiah is coming back with the sword. He even told you to go sell your garment and buy a sword. It is written. So I don't want to hear no one say, oh, we can't do no violence. We can't do that. He's coming back with the sword to terminate most life that's evil on this planet. So I don't know what you're thinking. And he's the one that will bring it. So he is the one that will bring the destruction of this whole place. And that's okay, because he's off building a new heaven and a new earth, and has been, you see. And I believe that. I believe there's a better place being prepared. I truly do. I believe that if you pass the test here, you can live 1,000 years with righteous characters, righteous souls. They ain't gonna try to steal from you, sleep with your wife, or do any of these insane things that you're gonna find in this low-level plane that we're in now. I don't know about you, but I went out, and I don't never want to come back here. Okay? I want to ascend. That is what it is. That's what it means. Okay? You have a chance. Try to remind you here on this Christmas. That's the most important thing. Some people are like, I'm not religious, I'm not this and that. This isn't religious in the sense that you were hit with. It's not that, you're missing it. This is deep spiritual. The essence of who and what we all are. The meaning of all this. I'll circle back to that by the end. Let me get through some of the news here on this Christmas. And he comes like a thief in the night. Hi, again. Much love. And thank you for the super chat. We have, unfortunately, a plane crash that took place today. And this is a bit suspect. Okay? There's no official statement that this flight was shot down or shots fired at it. But there is a lot of speculation. Much love, Crazy Tacos. There's a lot of speculation that that's what happened. Now, I'm going to play some video, and it's crazy. And believe it or not, I mean, there's actually different viewpoints here. There's people that survived this. People that survived it. And I watched the guy talk, and he was in Russian, and they were translating it, or whatever he was speaking in. And he looked like bruised up, and you know, like something happened to him, and he went down on his plane. Him and the people in the back apparently survived it, and all the rest of them died. Crazy, because there's film. He's filming inside the plane before all this happens, and you could see everybody that's on board to think that like a good majority of those people are dead. He survived it, but he says, while they were flying, the airplane, because of bad fog, had to circle multiple times to try to make an emergency landing. When they attempted to finally land, to come in for a land, they heard a huge bang, like an explosion, is how this guy explained it. Like an explosion. Like they hit something in the air, something hit them in the air. It even blew off pieces of the strap off the wall, off the fuselage of the inside of the thing, blew it off like it was shot at. Well, sure enough, they're looking at the plane on the ground. There's holes consistent with it was fired on. You can see it right here. And they're like, we don't know if they shot a missile at it that shot or multiple bullets or what happened. There's no official statement right now on this. Some are saying that Kazakhstan or their military, whoever, could have misinterpreted it in the fog as something else and accidentally shot it down, is what they're saying. But that would have been with like their military, and there's no official statement right now. I'm going to play this clip. Horrific that anyone's got to die in a plane crash. See that? It was peppered. It was shot at. It was shot at, without a doubt. All the way up through there, man. Oh, them's bullet holes. And it was shot. So they can say whatever. We're still waiting on an official statement. We are in them turbulent times. Say, oh, much love. So this was Azerbaijan Airlines Embraer ERJ-190AR had crashed near the Akhtal airport after having declared an emergency. There were 5 crew and 67 passengers on board. Here's a shot of it. I'm going to blow it up. Banging.
Ева, кита. Ёб твою мать! Блядь!
See, they came down. Looks like they lost they lost pressure from bullets. Look, it's not smoking, so the engines weren't hit or anything like that. It was right there coming in for a landing. It obviously was hit and shot. And it lost all kinds of cabin pressure. And the guy that survived it said as much. And he was in this back tailpiece. He was in this back tailpiece. That's where the survivors were. All the rest of the people that were in the other part of it were dead. Anyone that was up near the wings. And then the front, look, it's just charred and they're gone. Things to think about, man. You can see the bodies scattered all over. This isn't the first time that we've seen that we've seen the tail break off and the people survive. Yeah, here's inside of it.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
Hamı sakit olsun.
Allahu Ekber Allahu Ekber
Kabağa 20 nefer
Oh
gelsin.
man, this is so
Allahu
scary.
Ekber Allahu Ekber
Oh man.
La ilahe
And
illallah
to think all them other people did not make it. This guy's the guy that survived. He was talking in the video.
Allahu Ekber Allahu Ekber Eşhedü en la ilahe
Afterwards.
illallah Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah.
They're freaking out. Man, I'm trying to see if there's a. So that was up close.
Записка чисто, записка.
These are the survivors coming out of the wreckage.
Куда я? Туда оттащим подальше. Ноги.
Oh my god.
Сиди. Сиди, пусть. Люди упали.
Oh my gosh. To be able to say that you were in a plane crash and you walked away from it, it's just, that's insane. But this thing was shot down, man. You see the bullet holes. All the shrapnel marks. Something exploded, like they shot a missile up and it exploded, like right outside of it, that shot all this shrapnel. Or, I mean, there's independent bullet holes. I mean, you can see. I mean, this thing, or both. Who? I don't know. A rest in peace to the souls that were lost here tonight. All right. Let's look at a few things. Jump into the economic stuff here real quick. Just want to go over the 10 new ideas here they got listed that will help make our economy great again. Well, you got to do away with the inflation and all that stuff. And Trump's done said that he's not going to fire Powell and all that. So whatever they do in that department, that's like, I mean, he's already not doing things that he said that he was going to do. He said he was, all right, first off, he said he was cutting all the money off to go to Ukraine. He's like, it's over. Day one. Day one. That's all I kept saying. Day one. It's over. No money, no more funding. It's over. This and that. And I'll work out a deal. I'll work out a deal. That's all I kept saying. He hasn't worked out a deal yet. Not to say that he can't. Okay? Man. He just came out and he said that the money's going to continue. Thank you, David, for the super chat. Well said. So, yes, he said he's continuing money to Ukraine. And this just blows me away. It's like, this is how quick he's flopped before he's even in office. It's crazy. Before he's even in there. I thought they were cutting it off, cold turkey. Nothing's going to happen. That's not the case. And that's just like, dude, what in the... So I'm telling you, man. See, this isn't my first time around the block, my first rodeo. I've been doing this for too long, man. Too many of these cycles. I've seen him do all this stuff last time. Remember, he was saying Hillary for prison last time. Had everybody believing it. And they got in there and was like, I don't feel like it. So, this dude, man, he was just the perfect remedy to ease a chunk of the masses, I feel, for the establishment. Because that's what he does. He lulls them. He's about to start the war in this country and on our border, period. If it would have been anyone else, under any other circumstances, it would have been protested down. You're never allowing that to happen here. But under these circumstances, under this whole thing, people are just going to sit back and shut up. Watch. Which is crazy. All right. Number one. He's going to slash the job-killing regulations when he gets in here. And hopefully this works out really good. To the better. Yeah, the regulatory state is a $2 trillion tax on the American economy. So we'll see what he can do in this department of the jobs. It's wiped out. I just told you earlier about they lied about the numbers. A lot of the jobs ended up going to illegals. They wiped out I don't know how many businesses. Every week I'm reporting on it. CEOs quitting in record amounts. This and that going bankrupt and sinking. Those are all jobs gone that have been around for decades that are gone. That's got to change. He says he's going to try to make these Trump tax cuts permanent. Says JFK, Ronald Reagan, and others have all proven throughout history that lower tax rates lead to more growth, more investment, and more jobs. So they're saying that will work in our favor if it goes into motion. They also look to replace the welfare with work in terms of able-bodied people that are just leeching off the system. Get the leeches off, they can actually work, and that helps. He also goes on to say here at number 4, use America's abundant natural resources, which is natural gas, coal. Those are at the top of the list. Things are going to change under Trump. And under this administration coming in, I hope they make coal great again. Why not? Federal government's been selling it, period, to the Chinese left and right. And just telling us, we the people in the States, that we can't do it. So it's made everybody poor. If you were to bring back coal country and things like that, natural gas, to where we could mine it, sell it, what you should be able to do, for crying out loud, it's America. It would bring back a lot of these places. Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, all these places. They would thrive off this. All throughout the mountains, all throughout Appalachia. Man, it would be a huge thing. We should already be able to do it. It's nuts, man. Call this the land of the free. So he's also going to try to cut medical costs by demanding healthcare price transparency, meaning no more hiding. Everyone's got to put the cost of everything out there, and then, lowest bidder will take it, instead of this monopolizing stuff. Allowing school choice for all families, which, again, you would think that in a land of the free, that would already be the case, but it's not. He also wants to revive America's great cities. Now, how they're going to do this? New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, all these major left-leaning places. They're going to say they become war zones. Crime runs rampant. How are you going to change that? Let's see, you're going to send Homeland in the military, or the strike teams too? Is that the answer to everything? They're already putting up camps to house all these migrants. Really? Shouldn't the migrants just be on a bus and sent out? No stops? I think you someone for the 5 coffees. All of a sudden, you're going to have to house them. They're looking for 100,000 beds. Again, why don't they put on a Greyhound or in a vehicle and just shipped right down to the border? Put them on a police bus, prison bus, ship their asses down to the border straight away. Just round them up, send them down on buses. They ain't staying in no camps here on our taxpayer dollar. Or is that not what they're for? Because everything's been an illusion thus far. He does say here, it does list that pulling out of the Paris Climate Change Treaty and other climate stuff is going to be number 9, which would be huge. The heck with all the carbon tax crap and all that. So that would be huge. And hopefully he does do these things. And finally, drain the swamp, which he said he was going to do last time and did not. So, and again, it's going to take more than 4 years to do what needs to be done. But one could argue, if you were going to do things the right way, you could do it as soon as you got in and rather quickly. Again, I've seen this before with Trump and with tariffs. I told you, when he put tariffs into motion last time, people forget. It cost certain appliances to go up like $100 and some. And that's just the facts. We could end up paying more for all types of stuff once Trump gets in here. And that's just real deal, looking at what's already happened and looking what they're saying or where this is going. So let's look at some signs that this thing's already coming down, because it is coming down. Well, when the economy is in good shape, you see a lot of people spending money around the holiday seasons. In 2024, only 16% of Americans say that they're going to spend more than last year, when 35% say that they're going to spend less. The number of job openings in the U.S. is now the lowest that it's been since January of 2021. But unlike January of 21, we don't have a scamdemic to blame for the poor performance. Number 3, the manufacturing numbers are like extremely dismal. And I've said this before, you've got to bring manufacturing back to America. You've got to make it a thing again. Jobs and the supplying products of all types of stuff, whether it's these chips, whether it's processing plants for rare earth minerals, you've got to start taking these things out of the control of China and putting us in a better position. You know, right now things are so bad that the average U.S. home buyer just lost $33,250 in purchasing power in 6 weeks. That is crazy. In 6 weeks' time. Someone that could have bought a house for $442,000 now will have to pay $475,000. That's how quick things change out here. The cost of living out of control. Bank of America says almost a third of all households spending more than 95% of their disposable income on necessities like housing costs, groceries, and utility bills. A recent LendingTree survey discovered nearly a quarter of all households couldn't pay their entire power bill at some point within the last year. This is crazy. The same LendingTree survey found that about a third of all households had to reduce spending on necessary things within the past year in order to pay those utility costs. That's just nuts. Look, I'm going to tell you a way that you can mitigate this is to go off grid. Okay? It's a bigger chunk up front. And if you got to get a loan or put it on credit cards or do whatever you got to do, you do what you got to do. Okay? This in the long run, if you can get on to a package where you're completely off grid on a piece of property where you build your cabin or your little spot or move something on there or whatever, and the property's paid off and whatever you build, I mean, you could potentially put that on a credit card or a loan too, whatever you can work out. But to power the home is the key, obviously. And it's going to cost you around $25,000 these days for, I'd say, a normal family of 4 to get there. In a few thousand extra dollars on top to add in a couple other things, because that's just the way that it is. Once you're there, these bills are gone. They're gone. Yeah, you're going to have the credit card bills and all this other stuff, but you're off grid, and if the world goes to hell, then it goes to hell, and you're off in your location separate. And if the grid goes down, you're gonna keep running. If the water gets attacked or is tainted or is coming out brown or whatever it is, you don't have to worry about that no more, because you're collecting it yourself, cleaning it yourself. You don't have a water bill no more. You don't have an electric bill no more. These things are huge when you can remove them. And then if you've built something, the mortgage is not there. When the mortgage is not there, in all those bills, it's a game changer. The amount of money somebody could save, or just paying off your credit cards in the meantime, even if you looked at it and you were like, well, I'd still be paying the same because I'm going to be paying the credit cards off. But you'll be where you need to be. And if it all hits the fan, you'll be there. And oh well, they'll have to come find you, won't they? So I see it. This whole place is going to go down like that. It's drying up. Big, like I said before, big lots. All these places, the jobs gone. It's saying more. As at the end of November, more than 7,000 stores had been closed in the United States. That's a 69% increase from last year. 69% increase. And this isn't scamdemic, y'all. This isn't lockdown time, all that. This is pure economic chaos, inflation, and just them destroying our country. They've wrecked it. This is what they've done. That's all this wrecking ball called the Biden regime was supposed to do. Now, one way to trick a populace into accepting a new currency or a new way is to forgive their debt. And this is something some of you were like, no way, they'd never do that. That'd be crazy. How could they do this? Well, they've done it before. And I'm going to tell you that it's even in the Bible. It's Matt's turn. Yeah, even the book of Leviticus, it formalizes debt jubilees as the conclusion of a 49-year biblical cycle. 7 cycles of 7 years. And it is declared to be just that, a debt jubilee. Yeah, you want to be real about it. It's an ancient practice. I mean, it goes to your Bible. It should be in practice then, huh? So every 49 years, so everybody you live long enough, live to see 50 at least, then you would hit 49, and once in your life, you would get forgiven of all debt. Doesn't that sound like a beautiful thing? Huh? It is written. Like, what country are you living in, under what rules, who's making and enforcing? Like, if you're a Christian and this is all the case and this is part of your Christian book, then shouldn't this be part of how the way things are? But no. Yeah. 49-year biblical debt forgiveness. Well, you say reset, but that's the scary thing. That's the scary thing. They're going to probably play this whole thing into that reset. Exactly. These are not angels like of good. These are like demons, running this whole thing here. So they could resurrect this and roll this out. And this would be the reset. Who's going to say no? It's been done before, and it's actually the golden rule tool that ancient societies have used to check the people when they've gotten to an uproar. Tetragrammaton sliding in like a ghost. Man, thank you. Good to see you. Maybe been around for so long. Merry Christmas. Much love. Thank you for the super chat. God bless, man. Yeah, I don't know. I must have missed something, but I just looked down and seen Cannon say, let him cook. He's on fire. Hey, I'm just go keep it pushing. I'm missing a lot of the chat tonight. I am, but it's one of the two. It's either I'm reading from these and diving in, or I try to keep an eye on both. But yeah, everything's all these taxes were taxed, double taxed, and all this. And the one thing Trump did say of like, do away with taxes and just use tariffs. Like, all right, big boy, if that's the case. But I just don't see it all working, and it's going to kill this country. It's all by design here. It's all meant to try to blow back so they can blame it on him. He signed up for it. He knew what he was getting into. Mr. Gentile Messiah. So, when it comes to this debt forgiveness thing and a reset, just know that that's an option on the table. And back when they tried to get the whole world to move over to accept a new currency before the United States dollar, the big currency was the British pound. And this goes all the way back, old school, to where they used tally sticks. Okay, back in the day, to get all of society off of tally sticks and onto the new fiat currency. Do you know what they did? Do you know what they did? History repeats itself. They forgave the debt of the people and issued this new currency. And it was a reset, pretty much. And they did it. They already played this card. Man, oh man, oh man. All right, here's one. Do you own a business? A company? Do you own a company? Did you survive the onslaught? I mean, if you did, congratulations, man. And thank you, Seymour, for the PayPal. This is a last minute alert warning that I think is this is ridiculous. How they can get away with this last minute is just absurd. I'm going to tell you that like 99,000 out of 100,000 people that have a business are not going to hear about this. They're saying that millions of companies must register with a massive U.S. database by January 1st now because a last-minute court ruling. Now, they tried to make this, and a court ruling came out and said, it ain't happening. But now they came out with a different court ruling and said, it is happening. And this is garbage. The Fifth Circuit overturned a lower court's injunction against a constitutionally dubious law that requires the country's estimated 32.6 million active companies to submit their private ownership information to a central database ran by FinCEN. And that's ridiculous. Like, federal governments think got your tax identification stuff and this and that and all that, and they already know who you are. Like, why should everybody have to give this information up to this group out of nowhere like this by law or get in trouble? Nobody knows about this. Nobody. So you just wait. You see what happens here. But ton are going to be running to Trump like, this is scandalous, do away with it. And I could see him. So many people are going to be affected by this. So many people and businesses. So many people are going to miss this. They have no clue. They're oblivious to it. Well, are you a Democrat? I'm not hating you if you are, but hey, chances are you're more likely to cut off relatives over political differences, per the new study. Yep. Democrat voters are 5 times as likely over Republicans to cut off family over shenanigans like this. A political year. So, every 4 years got to be rough come Christmas time or the holidays. That's the case. Because there's this massive debate. And it's been this way ever since Trump stepped on the scene. And it's an illusion of choice. It's separation. I say this in a time, I don't know. There's a time for debate. And there's a time for, like, not talking politics, I guess. Or anything. I mean, if it's a subject or something that's going to bring up a whole bunch of negative anything at the Christmas dinner table or whatever, I'd say pass on it. Like, right? Like, you got to have a good time and enjoy and have good memories of friends and family, not bad ones, And hostilities and all that. So, I would tend to say keep it off to the side. Although it tends to always work itself in like my families. But everybody is like kind of the same way of thinking. There's not like no Democrats in the room, so to speak, or whatever. They're sick of the game. They're sick of all of it. They see it. They see it how I see it. And then a lot of them just don't care for the government. Period, left or right. They see through it. And see, that's where I'm at. I see through it. They don't trust them. Period. That's where we're at. Facts, Jack. Just don't trust the government. So, we've got Donald Trump throwing down an epic troll. I've got to say this. Man, he works it. He drops this on Truth Social. And it says, when you see that guy who said you'll never be president at your inauguration. Yeah, that's classic. It's a big old smile. And look, Obama just looking ahead like, oh, pissed. And look, Obama made all these comments, man, that he would never become president. I can't stand hearing him talk sometimes, but we'll see what he says.
Foreign observers are troubled by some of the rhetoric that's been taking place in these Republican primaries and Republican debates. I don't think it's restricted, by the way, to Mr. Trump. I mean, I find it interesting that everybody's focused on Trump primarily just because he says in more interesting ways what the other candidates are saying as well. I'll leave it to you to speculate on how this whole race is going to go. I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president. And the reason is because I have a lot of faith in the American people. And I think they recognize that being president is a serious job. It's not hosting a talk show or a reality show. It's not promotion. It's not marketing. It's hard. And a lot of people count on us getting it right. And it's not a matter of pandering and doing whatever will get you in the news on a given day. And sometimes it requires you making hard decisions even when people don't like it. And doing things that are unpopular. And standing up for people who are vulnerable but don't have some powerful political constituency. And it requires being able to work with leaders around the world in a way that reflects the importance of the office. President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump. At least I will go down as a president.
And he threw the phone, like mic drop, like he's cool or something. Can't stand Obama and Mike. Just can't. Can't stand Obama, but, I seen a lot of the satanic stuff come out with Obama. He really opened my eyes to a different level because back then the computer I had all this different audio stuff set up, and I had a thing where I could just take the audio and I could reverse it. And his acceptance speech, he was saying, yes, we can, and all this stuff, and I reversed it, and it just blew me away. He blew me away. He was saying hail to the Pharaoh Zeus. Some of you are like, who? To the Pharaoh Zeus. This is what he was saying backwards. He was saying it clearly. Everyone was chanting it. This is how this works. This is how the satanic realm works. It works in mirror, in reverse, because that's what Satan does. And the whole world, the whole everything that they do. This is why a lot of the songs and the music, you can find the same thing. Okay? This man, his speech, it was crafted this way on purpose. And when I dropped that video, it just blew me away. They ended up striking it, taking it down, all this other stuff, and it wouldn't give me a valid reason why, like always, but I knew why. Because I smoked them, and it was the truth. And you can go back right now, find the same acceptance speech, and reverse it, and you'll find the same exact thing. And you could probably even find knockoffs of my video when I did it back in the day still around, because a lot of times they would stay alive when they'd kill the original. But anyhow, keep it pushing here. Trump said that he was going to take back Panama. He was just going to go and buy Greenland. He pissed off Greenland, and I showed you that, and the people down in Panama are pissed off. I'm not going to play another video, but they're pissed off. They're taken to the streets, they're banging their drums, they're screaming, they're chanting, and they hate Donald Trump. You can see they throw him on the banner with the swastika in his mouth, and they're pissed off. But I guess, how would you feel if some leader of the beast was just, we're going to go down and take your country. We're just going to take it. Or we're just going to buy it because it's loaded with stuff we need. No, it ain't going to happen. But, see, these are the things that Donald Trump does that pisses some people off. It's like, well, why even say anything like that unless you're absolutely serious? And, you better have a deal in motion on day one and get that thing signed on day one. The Masonic handshake down here by Trump and Xi. Man, these two. Look, so all of a sudden, Trump is talking. Some people can't figure out why is he talking so good about Xi Jinping, acting like they're buddies and they're friends and this and that. And he even invited him to his inauguration. And I'm telling you, the world is a stage, dude. Even though we're on the cusp of World War III with the dragon China, China has been controlled by Rothschild banking cartels ever since the days of Mao. And they went in, they took the guns, and they murdered millions of people. If you needed a reminder. So the banking cartel has full control of the dragon. Do you understand? Full. Henry Kissinger is the one that groomed him. Xi Jinping. They're like very, very good friends. Just do the research. You'll find it. Man, it's not hidden. It's in the open. So, man, the world is a stage, man. And if you just rewind time and go back and see that the same banking cartel controlled and funded both sides of World War I, both sides of World War II, and it's going to be both sides of World War III. But see, we're smarter than this. We know we've got it figured out. All the lemmings and sheep around you, they ain't going to. Every time I say lemmings, I think of dude. She's like, well, actually, he technically checked me on what a lemming was one day. And I was like, damn, dog. I had to quit saying it for a while. But sometimes it slips out, but much love, Tooge. Can't wait to see you again, brother, for real. But the world is a stage, is my point. And who knows where this is going to go with this whole tariff war and this whole thing. I think we're going to get hit economically, EMP, or something. Something big's going to happen and it's going to cripple us. Point blank simple. Okay? Really, that's the biggest thing. Nothing else matters. If this was, summer 2000, I say 1999, getting ready to go into the whole new millennia, whatever. And there was one date on the horizon that was going to rock the foundations of the whole world immediately, like imminently ahead. What would that have been? That would have been 9/11. Now, if you would have been able to figure out that that was coming beforehand and known or anything like that, that would have been tremendous. Now imagine we're in that position again. And this is bigger than that event. Because it will affect the whole country, not just one city. Well, granted, 9/11 affected the whole country and the whole world in that aspect, but not crippling. Okay? The disaster struck in one city. The disaster will hit every city in what's about to happen. Now wrap your head around that. Swallow that pill. Imagine what happened on the fateful day, September 2001. Now apply that to your home city, the closest big city to you. And chaos everywhere, every city. But guess what? To me, comms are going to be gone. Communications are going to be gone. And let me tell you, this isn't a conspiracy theory. Your government has made sure to tell you that the past couple weeks and months, that China is inside of all of our telecoms. All of them. Even the DOJ wiretaps, which should blow your freaking mind. And they can't get them out. We are essentially right now being held hostage in a way. I'm telling you. And this isn't good. A lot of questions start to fly. This whole thing's messed up, man. How do you bring down America again? What's the easiest way? We said EMP the other day, right? It is the kill shot. It would fry everything, planes dropping out of the skies, everything. But it would fry everything. It wouldn't stop at the border. It would go into Canada, into Mexico. It would be relentless. Everything. That's up there on top of the list right at this point. Damn it, if UFO invasion and all this other's on the table, that's on the table. I mean, for real. So, realistically, how do you cripple America? All right, Dabu, I'm taking the EMP card off the table. Now what? Okay. How do we get the same residual effect? But maybe not as bad, and maybe a better situation if we're the bad guys planning this. Your cyber attack. You all know. It's textbook. It's easy. You all know it's coming. Again, they've told you a million times. They telegraphed it. And they've told you China's in the infrastructure. And they control all the cranes in the ports. Like, we're hijacked. Oh, and did I forget to mention they own thousands of acres next to all of our key bases in this country? This is a setup. This is a setup. So how do you cripple it? You cyber attack it. So what do we cyber attack? Well, we start with power, grid. Take down certain sectors, chunks of the grid. Put everything in the dark. Okay? That effectively is going to take down all the banking, right? No one's going to be able to get any money out and anybody do anything like that. It's going to take down everything. A lot of things. We can also, in turn, just attack in the same false swoop here. All the comms, all the communications are down. They're cut. Period. All communications, for the most part, unless you got something satellite or something like that. Everything else, unless you got a satellite-based phone, all these networks will go down because that's part of their plan. You cut all of them. Cut them all. That's the first thing you do in war, is you take out communications. So this is like a hand-in-hand thing. It's like a two birds and one stone type of deal. You're effectively getting everything that you want here, putting the people in the dark out of nowhere, and then you can hold them hostage. Now, you ain't even going to tell them who's done it yet. Or, you always can blame it on whoever, China, Russia, whoever you want to point the finger at. But, you ain't even going to play that card yet. They sit there and they milk it out. They milk this out to their advantage. Do you understand what happens right now? Do you understand what happens right here? This is why this has to happen. Hear me clearly on what's about to happen. This is why this has to happen. When you're the bad guys. Guess what we get to play now? Guess what card we get to play now? Now, since everything has collapsed, things are starting to come back online after a month or so. Everyone's hurting bad. Whole country's just been put on its ass. Okay? People still can't get money out of their banks or anything like that. It's frozen. But everything's coming back up online. Okay? They tell you there is a digital wallet that is in your bank, which is already there. It's there right now. Just ask Spiro. We've warned you. It's been made in every bank. There's a digital wallet for every single account, for every single soul in America, ready for this event. What they're going to do is they're going to put a digital form of the US dollar on it. And they're going to tell you that this is going to be accepted anywhere and everywhere. And any company or business that don't accept it will get in trouble. And this is it. Everybody you know will download this. And see, it doesn't work. You can't get everybody onto the system if you EMP and you fry everything. You want to get everybody onto the system is the ultimate goal here. We want everyone on the system so we can track them. And you need one big event to do it. And when you freeze it all up to where they can't access it, you come to the rescue as the savior. Do you understand what's about to happen? You mark my words. And since we are the biggest economy on the planet, this will rock the planet. Since we are the reserve currency, it will rock everything. There is no other move you can make that trumps it. Minus the staged alien invasion, which we know is on the table, right? Disclosure. It's on the table. Disclosure card is on the table. It is, and it's actually up front row, because it just is. It's where we're at with all this. And notice how the drone thing has kind of fell back. What, have they just not been in the skies as much now? Or what's going on? It's fell back. Are they not doing these incursions over military bases and people's houses and airspace? What's going on? Have they disappeared? Give me some feedback out there, Jersey. Anyone that's out there, I'd like to know what's going on here recently. If these things have just disappeared for Christmas, or what? If they're still there. Because I haven't been seeing any videos the past few days of anything really fresh. So, just saying, try to stay on top of these things. Keep everybody in the loop. I didn't know if they took going a Christmas break. Tell me the operators are, celebrating Christmas. I don't know. If I missed something in the chat, you can always email me, dabu7@yahoo.com. if you got critical information. Oh, there's holograms, there's UFOs, there are UAPs, there's drones, there's combos, there's a mixture of technology. I think what we're seeing with the drones that are going high speed are definitely a new technology. The ones that are outrunning helicopters and all this, they've got all kinds of new technology. You can't see them on thermal. They're all kinds of new technology. So what they've done is they've taken like classic characteristics that you would find on what we would call a UFO or a UAP and threw it on a drone and let you see it and let you know that, hey, it's a drone. It's got FAA lights and everything else, but guess what? The thing's going to pick up speed and pew, out of here, and none of our aircraft can catch it. Can't lock onto it with a missile because it can't find a heat signature. It's not being controlled remotely from anywhere because they're not picking up any signals. This is bad assery in itself, what they've just shown us, and no one stopped for a second to even dissect it. It is huge. A bunch of drones evading all of our military hardware, helicopter, all this. Say, get out of here. And our military guys have told you this. This is next level. This is next level. It's basically made our everything obsolete. It said, haha, you're nothing. We can roll right up on you. You can't even shoot us. You can see us. We'll make sure of it. We're going to put little freaking FAA lights on it just to make sure that you can see us and chase us, right? But you ain't going to be able to shoot us. You ain't going to be able to catch us. Now what? That's where we're at. Pretty crazy, huh? Looky here. I told you we're going to war on the border. Trump announces an anti-drug ad blitz, and he vows to designate the Mexican cartels as terrorists. Day one. Told you, he's rebuffing it. It's going down. War is going down on our border. You understand? Like real warfare. Machine gun firing from Apache helicopters, the whole freaking nine, hunting people down like the roundup. It's going down. And they're running these ads that are basically telling anyone standing there, like, you better get out. They're already doing it. They're already doing it. Telling these guys that are sitting in hotels down there at night, watching whatever cable channel, Trump Homan's going to come across the screen and be like, hey, boy, but you're here illegal. You better get out that door now, because we're coming. And like when they do that, it's working in some instances. It's scaring the crap out of some of these people, and they're booking it. Other people, like these hardened gangs, murderers, things like that, they're locking and loading. They're gearing up like, oh yeah, partner. Like, you think you're gonna come in here and mess with us? Like, it ain't happening. Like, they're gonna take them on head on. We're gonna see gun battles. I'm telling you, a whole new version of cops is gonna resurrect. You could literally just follow these goons around with cameras. I doubt that they would let you do it at this point. Who knows? If anyone was going to do it, they would do it and capitalize on it. But as a journalist, they're probably going to try to take you out somehow because they don't want their stuff, unless they're doing it, filmed. Beating people down, gun butting them, doing all the stuff that they do. They're going to be doing it. And the collateral arrest, the people that are going to get caught up in this is my big question. Journalists need to be on the ground. They need to be filming this. But if it's them doing like they've always done, and I know how they operate, they'll just gun butt the journalists and throw them down on the ground too. Round them up too. Off to the camp they go too. I ain't kidding you. Y'all better get ready for this. It's my number one thing to keep an eye on with this whole thing right now. Outside of a financial crash. Looky here. Turkey. Erdogan's son on their social media in front of all their people, their religion, their eyes on that side of the world, openly in front of everybody, calling, to take over certain mosques, certain areas, and make it Muslim ground and protect it. And they're saying, and thank you, Mark. Well, thank you. They're saying they want Al-Aqsa Mosque and that they should go in Israel and occupy it. This is crazy. This will spark massive war right here. And they're serious about it. It's like openly thought. And look, Erdogan's done talked how he felt about Bibi. Even though they just worked together for the downfall of Syria, it was kind of like, all right, we don't really like each other, but if Syria's going to go down, you carve out, you get ready to take what you want down here. We're going to get ready to take what we want up here. And we'll see, neither one looks like the bad guy. Set up this phony regime that's in place like it is and make it look like we didn't just come in there and try to take over the country, which is what both of them have tried to do. Left all the gold in the vaults and everything. Imagine that. It's just to show. It's just all for show. Because here, at a certain point in time, the curtain's going to fall. All these dumbass people that think that these freaking different jihadist groups are like legitimately whatever the news says they are, when they finally figure out that government's been funding them and creating them for the longest time, it's their tool, it's going to be too late then. Anyhow, for Turkey to say this, man, openly, to take over Jerusalem, boy, you better watch it. They're getting brazen, man. They're getting brazen. And they're like Israel. You know how Israel goes down and stomped everybody out? They were welcomed into Palestine by the Palestinian people, so to speak, and they've stomped everybody out all the way down to Gaza Strip and all that, right? And they've taken all of what is Israel that you see today. They want to expand to greater Israel, to the whole region around it. And it's known, open plan, right? And you've seen what they're doing going into Lebanon. You see what they just did taking over Mount Hermon. Okay? Turkey's the same way. And Turkey's bigger. And they're the same way. Look what they've done. Just 100 years ago, when it came to the Armenians that were all throughout Turkey and even the Greeks coming off the islands, they have like shut them all out, all of the borders, everywhere, every square inch, all the way out to the islands, to where none of them are in there, in their country at all. At all. So, talking about exterminating people from your country, removing them in 100 years, that's what they've done. That's Turkey. Okay? A ship sinks, the Ursa Major, a Russian ship, and they're saying that it was terrorism. Who do you think they're going to blame that on? Russia, in turn, launches a Christmas assault on Ukraine that Biden and everyone's butthurt about. I mean, war is war. Did you think they were just going to quit on Christmas? I mean, because the Biden regime is not trying to talk truce at all. But they hit the power grid, and they crippled them. So, he keeps on going. Now, Trump, we know he has the power to come in here and to try to talk peace on these war fronts. It's going to be interesting to see if he does this. You know, I'm telling you, when these dudes come out and say he's the Gentile Messiah, that changes everything, man. I want to play this clip of a Mossad agent admitting on camera what they do and what they did with the pager attack in Lebanon. I'm going to play these two clips so you know how they operate, and this is them saying it. This ain't no one else, it's them saying it.
This is Gabriel, not his real name or voice. In 2022, he and his team started developing the second phase of the operation, the booby-trapped pagers. He found out that Hezbollah was buying pagers from this company in Taiwan called Gold Apollo. This is the pager that Hezbollah was using. So it's very sleek, it's very shiny, and it certainly can fit in a pocket. So what did you do to change this, to make it into a bomb? How did you convince Hezbollah to buy this?
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Who did they buy it from, or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear what he said? NorCal in the house, thank you for the coffee. Did you hear that? And Merry Christmas. Did you hear that? Did you hear what the man said, the Mossad said? That fears for his life because he saying this, because that's not even his voice. You can't even see anything on him. Like, they run everything. They set the stage. The world is a stage. I tell you this all the time. There's confirmation from them. On them demons. That's nuts. All right. Well, I'm gonna end it here tonight at the top of the hour here with some talk about what if Jesus was born into the American police state? Well, ultimately, he no doubt would be labeled just like us. Yeah, they would go after him. They would target him, and he would be labeled like a domestic extremist. Far right wing for sure, against the establishment, all those things. Yeah. It'd be interesting. That's for sure. But in his time, he was persecuted the same way by the same beast, just in his day and time. And we're lied to so much we don't even really know what they had then, full scale. I don't know, man. This is an evil place, is what I've come to learn. In that, even with Jesus, he was taken high by Satan and offered all the kingdoms of the planet just to roll with him. And he denied it, like, no. How many people would do that? If Satan took you on high and was like, look, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the planet if you just roll with me. A lot of people would take that. But Yeshua didn't. He did not succumb to the material possessions. He overcame the seduction of the demon. Even when offered to be the king of but they have everything. And it's truly, he was already the king. He didn't need to have this domain. He's going to build something better. I truly believe it. I believe there's an opposite to everything. And scientifically, it's proven. There's a mirror opposite to every atom, to everything. There's a yin to every yang in this duality. This is why they put it on the checkerboard all the time with their Masonic stuff, because it's real. It's a very real aspect of our world and of life, okay? And that's how it connects in. So there's an opposite to everything. And if there's this much evil and this many demons and gargoyles that you can feel and see, then there, by default, has to be the good as well. And that's why praying is so real. They're listening. They're watching and they're listening. They truly are. For all the times you thought no one was listening, there is something that is listening constantly to everything. There are watchers, so to speak, on different levels. Not to go back to the biblical watchers in that story, in that context, but different levels of those observing. The archangels, as it said, are always observing. Michael, Raphael, Uriel, they're always observing, and it was their observing of everything. That's where they come storming into the scene in all the stories. And they are sent to go down and do all these things because of the chaos they're observing at the on the planet Earth. I equate the big event with the Most High showing up as it happening and taking a ton of people by surprise, like any minute, like any time it could happen, like a thief in the night, as it's said. And it's to spare everybody from the full-scale bit of trib that everyone else is going to go through. It's very similar to how God took the Nephilim, the good Nephilim, and made 32 places for them on the planet. And those that repented, he saved them. He took them to those mountaintops, which is crazy. It's not that. See, that's the stuff that's in Enoch and in the Book of Giants and Jubilees that's told. With all the same characters, with Raphael, with all the archangels and all that. They cut it out. They don't want you to have that knowledge. When you soak all that game up, and even the Testament of Solomon, all of it, you see it all full scale. You see this for what this is. They weren't lying to you. Like, this is big time, a battle of good and evil. It's real. The whole thing of Star Wars, good and bad, it's real. It's a real thing. You're either walking this thing out for the dark side or the good side. And it's a very real thing. And there's powers that come with this. You call it magic, if you will. Okay? But all it really is to me, sciences that are just not understood. And once they're understood, it's not really a magic. It's just a science that was kept from you. A knowledge that was kept from you. And when you gain this knowledge, you can fight fire with fire. And you have got to remember, Jesus said, you will go on to do greater things than I. And it always stands out to me. And I'm like, how is that even possible? For a man that walked on water and was able to feed all these people with the bread and all the things he's done, heal all these people with his bare hands. But you have to have a faith, and you have to work through the Spirit. You have to walk it strong and hard. You have to be real, not one of these fake Joel Osteen evangelist types out there. Like, you got to be the real deal. And for the Holy Spirit to even work and to reside in you, you have to be a holy temple. You have to be clean. You have to walk it out, man. Do as they asked. It comes down to this every single time. there's not a more important message or thing that I could do than to try to get you out of here. Help you understand what this place is, what it's all about, how it works, the dynamics, because we're lied to so bad. But I'm just relaying to you what was written for so many people that don't even take the time to read the good book. And again, you can get this knowledge if you don't like to read, or maybe can't read too well, through an audiobook. And that in itself may be the best gift you can give yourself, is to, on any given night, sit back, relax, and play an audiobook of any one of these things that you're looking for, that you're looking to dive into. Gain that knowledge. Fall asleep, listening to it, let it get into your subconscious, all that good stuff. You soak up all that knowledge. What I've done for years. Not only watch these things over and over, just like I said, falling asleep, getting it embedded into you. You're hearing it as you're going through these levels of consciousness. And all these stories, man, tell a crazy... It paints a crazy picture, man, of a wicked place that we call Earth, that we live on. It seems to be to test you. To test you. To test the soul. You are a soul. It's pretty sad. A lot of people are born and live this life not even realizing what they are or anything like that. Like, you are energy. Eon, thank you for the coffees and Merry Christmas. You're legendary, brother. For real. You can speak things into existence. I'm telling you, you should start working on it. You should start doing it in a positive aspect, because you can cuss. And that's why it's called cussing. I'm serious. We've all done it. That's why I cut it out of my streams. It's you were casting a spell on it. You can sit there and take it out and be like, oh, that's all witchcraft, and it's not what it is. You're right. Just stop for a second, quit talking and take a good look at what it is. It is. It's exactly what it is. That's all of it is. All the esoteric, all the magic, what do you think it is? It's them connecting with the jinn. You get it? It's not hard. It's very simple in the end. Anyone can do it. And I'm going to warn you, just as Jesus and others have warned you, like, where you cast the stone. Like, you can speak anything you want into existence. I know it sounds corny, but man, it's real. I'm living proof of it. I'm living proof of it. I can give so many different examples. Anyone that knows me, you know. And I've been through the fire, especially this past year. And I never lost my faith in God's held me and kept me where I can deliver this message. What He wants me to say. What the Most High wants me to. Every time I start to stream at night, I say, dear Lord God, be with me. Help me deliver the message you want me to deliver to your people. You know, and that's how it always begins. This is to help people find the way out. That's what the Messiah ultimately wanted. Yeshua and all of the prophets. Any wise one that came. Buddha, other religions, any positive character throughout history is tried to tell you that. to raise your is energy, your oil of gladness. It's just in Christianity, it's been hidden allegorically more so than anything, but not hidden all the way. I mean, they flat out told you oil of gladness and everything else. I've just found it hidden. And I think it's something, kind of a gift God give to me, like, yo, look. And I haven't even begun to fully divulge it. I don't even know if this is the place to do it. Because last time I did, I got hammered. There's a lot of questions. The truth obviously comes under attack. And if they're going to blow you out of the water where you can't exist no more, well, then it kills the message entirely. So you have to be smart if you want it to live on. Sometimes that's why I say gathering in the flesh at these conferences. The knowledge you can share and you can gain there that can't be censored is priceless. I wish you all well. I hope that you guys can see what this is. I'm trying to repeatedly say it because I feel like I'm running out of time. You are a remnant. And that's all it was ever meant to be. A remnant that was going to make it out. That's why it's called that. It's not going to be a bunch of people. And as I see it, somebody's coming back. As promised. Judgment Day. He comes with a sword. To separate the wheat from the tare. Oh, I can't wait to watch this. I can't wait. This is the event that I want to see. Do you understand what that is? And thank you, Quantum. It is time. Separating the wheat from the tare. This is it. This is it. Do you know what that is? Really. You hear it all the time, but truly. From what it tells me and points to me is they're among us. And he's literally coming in here as they walk in the flesh among us. He's weeding the whole thing out. And as it says, he's putting them in a pile to be burned. He's going to torch everything. The good, he's snatching up and putting in a bundle. The good souls to be saved. I mean, what you would do. Harvest time. Judgment time. But these tares, there's a reason he calls it that. Because they're here, they're embedded, and they look just like the wheat, like us. They're here. The fallen have always been here. So don't fall for no deception of blue beam or drones or whatever the hell they're going to do. They're here, and they've always been here. So it's just to show whatever they're putting on in the sky. They're walking amongst us. And so are the good guys, the angels. You never know when you're in the presence of an angel. You just never know. When higher power's listening. Higher intelligence, higher being. One of the good guys, they're here. They're here. You best believe it. This is everything. It's here. Look. You speak things into existence, man. These are some solid truths I want you to hold on to and to practice from here. Try to cut back on any of the cussing, damning things. My wife taught me, she started to say, God bless it. And she flipped the script. Even, she'd do something, she's in there cooking, something hit the floor. She'd be mad, she'd be like, God bless it. And she flipped the script on it, and it was amazing. and it taught me something to do it the same in all these different aspects. I had to apply it in all these different ways, full scale, across the board, and then teach others, tell others, spread it. In this message, that damning things, you're doing just that. Be very careful when you get mad, because I know some of you are doing it. It's inevitable. You're saying it, you're doing it still. You're using that word. You're doing it. You need to think about what you're doing, because you've just casted a power, because you have that power. And don't forget, you have a power over the fallen. Don't be scared. Think, oh, this and that. They're not supposed to touch you in the physical. Okay? So, I really do feel for anyone that gets abducted or gets tormented by these things in the physical, because they're breaking major rules. Of course, they've been breaking rules the whole time. They were sent here, and they were told not to touch us, and have sexual relations with our women, but they did, and that's what started this whole thing. And we're not even the same species as Noah or Methuselah or any of them out of your Bible. No one wants to talk about it. We're not. We are not. We are not the same species, any of them. Anyone that lived pre-flood is different. They lived hundreds of years. They were different. They were bigger. They were different. If he found one, it'd be like finding a giant, and it would be different. They would not be us. When they came off the boat, all of a sudden our life got cut to 120 years. A new species was created. Duh. It's time to stop thinking like a caveman on it, and see what someone left on the interior. You need to see it with bigger eyes, another set of eyes here, spiritual set of eyes. Again, how does your basic instructions before leaving Earth begin? How does it begin? Genesis of it all. How does it begin? God said. Everyone's saying a verse, saying let there be light, saying all these things, right? Stop right there. Can't you see a higher intelligence has shown us that God brought everything into existence by speaking it? You are made in the image of God. You too have this power. No one ever taught you it. Or it went in one ear and out the other. You have a power. It's time you grab it, you use it before this is over. The right way, the way you're permitted to do. Not casting circles and calling on demons, which is the wrong way. There is a force here, the Holy One, you can call upon and work through. I suggest you do it. There's work to be done. Time is short. There's demons to slay. And there's things to create. If you want, you can speak it into existence. I've done it. I've done it to right where I sit. You want to know the craziest that always sticks with me of speaking it into existence? Long time ago, decades ago, before I even considered my wife like a friend that I knew and even talked to, she was a neighbor across the street at my dad's house. And she walked in to use the bathroom. When she did, I was in this in the moment phase, spaced out, one with God, just thinking, like right there in the moment. And I did. I said, when she went by, I said, God, would you please give me a wife like that and a family? And I said it. Years went by. Life went by. One day, I found myself back at my dad's, on the porch, full moon, looking across the street, and out comes my wife. She wasn't my wife yet, but it was different. And I never really got to know her all those years because of life. But everything changed. It happened. That is the power. And don't you ever forget it. It is real. You can do it for the good or for the bad. So, make of it what you will. I suggest you speak good things into this world to the best of your ability. And good things shall come. But you gotta have faith. And it doesn't come overnight. Things come in cycles. But the more you refine this, the better you live and the better you walk this out, the quicker they come. It's almost like a treat, inviting you to come after it. No, we're not. You can leave it on the table. These things you should possess like jewels. All right, man. Close it down on that. Walk righteous, as Jesus, Yeshua said. Time is short. If permitted, I will see you here on Friday for the next one. And, Merry Christmas. God bless. Much love. Do somebody else a favor and help someone out there if you can. That's my challenge to you between now and New Year's. Just put a time frame on it. Do something to help somebody. That way, when I ask later, you can honestly say that you did. Or be like, you know what? I didn't. Merry Christmas again. Much love. If I don't see you on the next one, Happy New Year. Be safe. Safe travels. Enjoy time with family, friends. Appreciate what you got. Truly, appreciate what you got before it's gone. Because then there ain't no ever getting it back. All right, guys. Oh, thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Everybody that supports the channel. It's appreciated more than you know. All the super